This is gonna be an unpopular opinion, and I'm sure that many are gonna disagree with me in the comments, but here we go. Drip acclimation is overrated. There, I said it. Now, if you want some context, stick around. First, why am I so sure I'm gonna get roasted in the comments? Because people that have done things one way since the beginning of time don't want to hear that there's another way. But if you've been following this channel for a while now, you already know I'm not afraid to stir the pot with my own opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. This video is not me saying that acclimation isn't important and beneficial when needed, but because I received so much concern about how I added my fish in the previous video, check it out up there, I want to provide a bit more context on the subject because I think it's important. So don't run around saying Kev lost his mind. He said we don't have to acclimate anymore. What an idiot. Context, my friends. Context matters. So let me first define what acclimation even means and what it is for beginners that may not know yet. The purpose of acclimation is to allow your fish time to adjust and get used to a new tank's water parameters or water conditions by way of adding small amounts of tank water into their bag water, aka drip acclimation. This is because every tank is different, every water source is different. Many of us know this already. And in theory, yes, this is true. We don't want to shock our fish by going from one extreme to another. The point of this video is to talk about the fact that most of us don't need to worry about it as much as we do. The first example would be temperature acclimation. Many of us bring home a new fish in its bag of water and float the bag to allow the temperature in the bag to slowly equalize with the temperature in the tank. This is beneficial, but in my opinion, it can be very overrated depending on the circumstances. First, your fish is not going to be shocked if the temperature doesn't match exactly. Fish survive storms, hurricanes, and tsunamis that I'm pretty sure cause very quick temperature changes. Fish are not as soft and fragile as many people think. The majority of fish are very hardy, and the majority of fish kept in the aquarium hobby are even hardier, if that's even a word. Fish suppliers and breeders aren't gonna choose to stock fish that die as soon as the wind blows, because they never turn a profit. The most popular species of fish in the hobby are chosen for a reason. They have a high survivability rate when kept in this glass box compared to fish that you'd never see in someone's home aquarium. Am I saying that fish in the aquarium hobby don't die? No. I'm saying that they are hardier than others. I feel like I can almost anticipate ignorant comments before they arrive. Anyway, in my opinion, a temperature swing of plus or minus 5 degrees is perfectly fine for most fish. When you get new fish from your LFS and take them home, there isn't going to be much of a temperature swing at all. Even if it's the dead of winter, they were in warm water at the store, got bagged in warm water, got into your warm car, got into your warm house, and ultimately into your warm tank. If you order fish online and they're shipped to you, most reputable breeders ship their fish with heat packs that keep the contents warm for the duration of shipping. So again, warm box to warm tank. Is it gonna be an exact match with the temperature? No, but that's okay. This goes for water changes too. No, you don't wanna add ice cold water to a tank during a water change, but just get it warm to the touch and fill it up. It's not that deep. Now, with all that being said, does that mean that I won't float my bags in the tank when I get new fish? Absolutely not. I'm not saying don't float your fish. I'm still gonna do it because it doesn't take any extra effort to plop a bag in the tank, wait 15 minutes so the temps can equalize before releasing the fish. This is going to be beneficial. I'm not saying don't float your fish, okay? Like I'm beating a dead horse here. I'm also gonna keep doing this simply out of habit, to be honest. It's not hurting the fish by being patient and allowing the temps to get closer to each other, unless it is hurting the fish. Yeah, in some cases, acclimating your fish can actually cause the death that you were trying to avoid, which is how the idea for this video was born. Everything is not black or white, on or off, yes or no. There is a ton of gray area in this hobby, and in life, by the way. Many people refuse to understand that. We'll get into that in a minute, but before we do, let me touch on drip acclimation more specifically first. Drip acclimation is the process of not only floating your bag in the tank water, but opening the bag and allowing tank water to drip into the bag slowly. This allows the water parameters / conditions to reach equilibrium. While this can be more beneficial than just temperature acclimation, in my opinion, it's another very overrated procedure that can also defeat the purpose in some cases. Let's say you bought a fish that was kept in very different water parameters than your own, and you remembered that some forum out there said all you need to do is drip acclimate. But if you think about it, why would you be keeping a fish in very different water parameters than your store or your breeder was? It's very likely that they know what they're doing, that they know what water conditions are necessary for that specific fish to thrive in. And if you've done your homework on what that fish needs, your water should not be very different. Slightly, sure, but not very. If you've bought hard water, high pH fish like African cichlids back there, your tank water should already be ready for those fish. And if it's not, no amount of drip acclimation is going to keep those fish healthy. They will be shocked no matter what. But it's much more likely that your water is only slightly different from the source's water. Let's talk about the case where you and the store both have high pH suitable for African cichlids, but one is 8.0 and the other is 8.5. Again, no amount of drip acclimation is going to cause that bag water to change from 8.0 to 8.5. It would take days of dripping water for that to happen. So your 30-minute or 2 hours of drip acclimation, whatever it is really just keeping them in bag water for a longer period of time that is getting more toxic by the second. Yes, your fish is releasing ammonia into the bag water as it breathes, and it's building up while you're dripping tank water into the bag that has no capability of converting that ammonia the way your tank and filtration and biomedia does. If you had fish shipped to you overnight, it's even worse. The bag has been accumulating carbon dioxide, which does keep ammonia in a non-toxic form. But the moment you open that bag, the CO2 is released, oxygen enters, pH spikes, and the ammonia becomes toxic. This is a recipe for disaster. You've now caused a pH swing, which we know is bad. That's why we were drip acclimating in the first place, right? To avoid pH shock. And you've now converted non-toxic ammonium to a very toxic ammonia. I don't think keeping the fish in that bag for another hour while dripping tank water into it is very beneficial at this point. Get that fish out of that bag. Which leads me to the specific scenario that got me bombarded with comments about how all my new fish were gonna die because I didn't acclimate them. Poor fish being handled by a moron, they're all gonna die. Here are all those zombie fish, alive and well. This guy's a bully, he's in timeout. Here was the scenario if you missed my last video. Shipping was delayed due to weather, and these fish that were supposed to arrive overnight spent 3 days in a bag. In the military, we're taught that the first thing to do when you assess a medical situation is to stop the bleeding or start the breathing, one or the other. This means that if someone says they have a headache while they have a cut on their hand gushing out blood, you don't give them a Tylenol first, you stop the bleeding. If someone is choking and falls to the ground, twisting their ankle in the process, you don't go get ice for the ankle, you start the breathing. In a case where fish have been in a bag for 3+ days, there is very little oxygen left, if any. And the moment you open that bag, the water becomes toxic for the previously stated reasons, burning their gills and causing even more suffocation. If your thought process is simply, well, I'm supposed to acclimate new fish, without considering these circumstances, you would have a bunch of dead fish. Priority number 1 is to get them into oxygenated water or start the breathing. I believe that by specifically not acclimating these fish is why all 5 of them survive. Now, if you want to see the right way of how to add new African cichlids to your main tank, check this video out right there. But before you go, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace. Yes, there's 5.